Hey everybody, welcome to the Dungeoncast. I'm Brian.
And I'm William.
This is a show where we talk about everything tabletop RPGs.
And today we are covering the legendary swords of Dungeons & Dragons and Pathfinder.
1, 2, 3, 4. Shout out to
Welcome, adventurers, to the Dungeoncast.
Let's go! Hey, Brian.
We're there.
We are there.
We've made it.
We have.
Hi everyone.
Hello.
I missed a week. My Iron Man streak is over.
Yeah,
a
it
long
did come
run.
to an end. It was a very long run.
I got COVID.
It happened.
It
It finally
destroyed-
happened.
It destroyed my whole body.
I'm sorry.
I'm
man.
back from the dead now.
You're a revenant. Oh, no.
I've been revived. Luckily, my housemates had a diamond that they used.
Oh,
to,
nice.
Yeah.
Revivify.
Bring my soul back from the abyss, where
Very nice.
Demogorgon almost took it forever.
Well, I mean, he has it forever.
Well, I have it now. He gets it later.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I don't know if you remember this, but at the beginning of the year, when I announced that it was going to be the year of the artifact, which it is, I also mentioned that we're going to be covering things that weren't not just artifacts. We're also going to be covering magical items, particularly magical items of note.
Yeah, artifact is like a blanket term for like cool magic items.
Well,
basically.
in D&D 5e specifically, artifact is like a very specific type of
Sure.
item.
Yes.
But we're using it here very much like you said, a blanket.
Right,
Blanket
yeah,
statement.
yeah, yeah.
So, what magical items are of more note than legendary swords? That was my
That's
thought
true.
process. Yeah.
There's definitely some cool ones like
Mm-hmm.
I forget who made the magic item cards, like what company that was. I think they've split ways with Wizards since then.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
but,
okay.
They have the sun soul.
Sunblade?
The Sunblade, yeah.
Yeah.
That's like the only notable one I know of. As I was like going through the
Well,
cards, like, oh, this is cool. It's a
yeah.
fucking lightsaber that
It
does like a bunch of
basically-
extra stuff.
It is.
Yeah.
You will be learning about 6 different swords in the Sunblade. The Sunblade is not a legendary sword, so it did not make this list.
Okay.
It may get covered later this year, though.
It is.
but
I know it's very cool and popular.
it's very cool. It's very iconic.
Yeah.
But today we are particularly going over swords that are in the legendary rarity.
So they should be even better than the sword I've mentioned.
Theoretically,
yes.
they should be. So, like in D&D 5e, there is, there's uncommon, there's rare, and then there's legendary.
Nice,
And
okay.
that's what we're covering. 6 legendary swords.
Legendary swords.
The sword is in and of itself an iconic weapon. In some ways, I would say the sword is the mascot of fantasy fighting.
Yeah, man. The Master Sword.
Yeah, there we go. Legend of Zelda, the Master Sword. Yeah.
That shit has an M built into the hilt. I don't know if you guys know that.
Yes, it does.
It stands for Master,
In
probably.
case you didn't know. Fun fact about Legend of Zelda, Master Sword didn't come along, I think, until Link to the Past.
Yeah,
The first 2
yeah.
Zeldas didn't have a Master Sword.
Right. They had to make that shit.
They had the
in
wooden
the
sword.
canon. Well, I guess if we're gonna talk about the Legend of Zelda timelines, my God,
We're not
Skyward Sword is the first game in the timeline.
Funnily enough, Legend of Zelda 1 and 2 are like the latest in the timeline.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know what happened to the Master Sword. It disappeared.
Where is Breath of the Wild not the latest game in the timeline?
I think actually. So here's the thing: is when Breath of the Wild came out, what I read was that they're like, oh yeah, we decided like the timeline doesn't matter anymore; it doesn't exist.
Oh, whatever. Okay.
So here we
Well,
are.
Fuck it.
Well, back to swords,
Yeah.
legendary ones that aren't the Master Sword. D&D is, of course, chock full of magical swords. I would actually bet, if you went and counted, I haven't counted, so I could be wrong, but I would bet there's probably more official magic swords in Dungeons & Dragons than all other magical weapon types combined. That's
okay.
how many there are.
That's probably easy to go look at in D&D Beyond.
yeah.
If somebody out there
It's
knows
easy to
those
prove me wrong.
Yeah,
Go do it.
Yeah, leave
by
a
the way,
comment. Leave
I
a
am
like
not-
and subscribe while you're down there doing stuff.
I'm not counting magical implements, so no staves, no wands, none of that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about weapons.
What is a wand but a sharp stick?
I'll stab you in the eye with my wand.
This is like a sword.
Yeah. So where was I? So today we're not covering all magic swords that exist in D&D and Pathfinder, just the legendary ones. And then for open disclosure, I chose all of the legendary swords from the 5th edition Dungeon Master's Guide, and then I found as many Pathfinder equivalents as existed.
Cool.
Of which there are, I think, 3 equivalents. So 3 of these swords are going to be only D&D 5e, and 3 of them are going to be both 5e and 2e Pathfinder.
Excellent.
These swords are all very much truly epic and renowned. They are all very much the end game ultimate weapon that every sword wielder wishes and hopes that they will find along the way in their campaign.
Yeah, so like the idea is like pick one of these that matches your setup, or is it like I guess you could do whatever,
it-
right? You could put a campaign where it's like we have to find the legendary swords.
You could. Yeah, it really just depends on the style of campaign going on. Because I've played in campaigns where the DM wanted the players to each like give a wish list, right?
Sure.
So the DM had a list of stuff to pick from. You didn't know what you were going to get, but you knew it was going to be something you wanted or liked or needed. But I think a lot of people playing games where it's like you just find what you find, and the DM puts what they put there. So.
Yeah, okay.
You just hope that you'll find a legendary sword one day, you know?
Yeah,
But-
yeah.
So first up is a sword that, despite its legendary status and its well-known power, it has pretty much absolutely zero lore written about it. I mean, it's got nothing.
That's a bummer.
This sword is called the Defender. Are you familiar with the Defender?
No,
No.
I'm
okay.
probably not going to be familiar with any of
That.
this.
Yeah, that's fine.
The
That's fine.
highest level stuff is like mostly untouched by me,
Right, I
In
mean,
gameplay,
sure,
Like
absolutely.
me reading through leafing through D&D Beyond or whatever is a different story.
Yeah.
Like, I wait for these episodes.
Well, yeah, fair enough. I would say, you might run into these swords depending on obviously the play style. Like, I would probably start throwing these 1 or 2 of these into the campaign. Earliest level 9 or 10, probably in there.
Okay.
You know, especially because I'm probably going to end the campaign between levels 12 and 15, anyways.
Yeah.
But that's more my style.
I mean,
so.
there's a level cap of 20 in 5e, right?
There
but
is,
if you're level 20, how do you power up after that? Probably give like,
yeah,
people
super cool.
really powerful
This
items.
and then boons. Those are
Yeah,
really the only
boons.
2 ways. Where was I? Oh yeah. So I read through every entry for this sword across every edition, and there's just really nothing out there besides its image and its stat block. Even the Forgotten Realms wiki, which is usually really good about like compiling lore, not just from source books, but from all the different novels, right?
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. Is
Yeah.
like there's probably a story where the Defender is used by blah 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 in like this one instance.
I'm sure it is, but even those stories, I doubt gave much lore because even on every, it wasn't just, I didn't just go to the Forgotten Realms wiki. I went to every wiki I could think of. I checked every source book that I could think of.
Yeah.
Every PDF that I had.
We can't read all the books, but I know there are people out there
Yeah.
who have. So
Yeah.
if you know, let us know because that's some cool shit. That's not
So-
something we have time to do.
So even the Forgotten Realms wiki doesn't even have a page for this item.
Oh, okay.
and this is supposed to be a legendary item.
That's
There's not
concerning.
even a page.
all right.
So before you read the stat block, let me give you what scarce information that I do have. The Defender is a legendary sword, believe it or not. It technically can come in the form of any kind of sword, but is very much traditionally portrayed as a 2-handed greatsword with a brilliant silver and wide cross guard. The 5e DMG shows a Defender sword with a blue gemstone embedded into its hilt. This gemstone emanates a blue energy in the shape of a kite shield. This sword may not have any lore, but it is iconic enough that you will see many video games out there that have a Defender sword as a high-level weapon a character can wield, namely the Final Fantasy series. There's always a Defender in every single Final Fantasy series.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
That being said, Pathfinder 2e does not have a Defender sword either. So,
Well,
despite it being legendary, I don't know if this sword belongs in this episode.
right, because there are no legends about it.
Yeah, give me the legends.
Fuck,
Damn it.
What did you do?
all right,
right,
Brian.
I have
That's
the-
all I got, so go ahead.
I have the Defender up in D&D Beyond. It is a weapon, any sword, legendary. Requires
they say.
attunement. Yeah, like maybe legend. It would be legendary if someone had it and used it, and then time went by, and a historian knew about it and wrote about it.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Then passed that information around some kingdom, right?
Yeah, we just need an extra 100 years.
You're gonna gain a +3 bonus to attack and damage rolls made with this magic weapon. Okay, so like it's kind of cool that there's a one that's blank, right? You need to write your own legend for the sword. Here's like a template for a blank legendary sword.
Yeah, yes, that is
That's
a
what
cool
it feels
aspect.
like.
That is, you're really looking at the silver lining, and I like it.
The first time you attack with the sword on each of your turns, you can transfer some of or all of the sword's bonus to your armor class. Nice. There is like the little kite shield thing, like you were saying on it. Kite shields are dope.
Kite shields are dope.
Instead of using the bonus on any attacks that turn, so you add the bonus to your armor class instead of the attack. For example, you could reduce the bonus to your attack and damage rolls to +1 and gain a +2 bonus to AC. The adjusted bonuses remain in effect until the start of your next turn, although you must hold the sword to gain a bonus to AC from it, which makes total sense. And then there's a chart down here for applicable weapons. So great sword, long sword, rapier, scimitar, short sword. So I guess those are the templates you can use for this.
Yeah, those weapons are the ones that could be enchanted in this way. So a few things. I have a few initial thoughts. Number one, you get the +3 to attack and damage. That's as high as magic weapons get in D&D. Nothing is above a +3. So
Okay.
already high powered in that way.
I'm in the comments on D&D Beyond down below.
Oh yeah, tell me.
Apparatus of Qualish said shield sword, chill, ellipses. P.S. If anybody can come up with a chill name for this, then I will be so happy.
Oh, okay.
Is this not a good name? The Defender?
I think it's a good name, but it can be like, okay, if you're playing 4th edition D&D, which we're not, but if you were, it would be confusing because there are, in that game, all classes fit into roles, and there is a specific defender role.
I like these hot takes down here. Yasas Nico says, why is this a legendary item? The spell...
Oh no!
The spell shield is better than this. What a useless and disappointing piece of trash.
Damn.
Now, some might say at least it's still a +3 weapon. It's not trash. However, while it is still a +3 weapon, a regular +3 weapon is more easily found and wouldn't be a campaign arc reward like something.
I mean, it's only more easily found depending on your DM and how they're running their game.
Yes. I mean, like, by the book, they're correct.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, because it's going to be what? Rare. Rare would be the commonality.
Yeah.
Of it.
So, like, table to table, I think in the context of what we have here, we should be arguing from a position of, like, this is what is in the booking rules. And with the audience knowing that they can manipulate things how they see fit for their game, right?
Yeah. I will say this. So the Defender is very niche. It is a very good weapon for a very particular kind of player. Like they said, the spell shield is better or whatever, and I'd have to look at the item. I don't know if they're actually right or not.
Oh, I'm in the responses to that comment. It sparked some heat.
Okay, well, we don't have to get into it unless you want to.
Well, let Grandmaster Radio, which is a great name, awesome. And this is from 2021.
Yeah.
It says 1, not everyone can cast shield. 2,
Yeah.
a tank's job is to survive damage.
Oh, they
This
mean
helps.
the actual spell shield.
Yes. Why would you do that? Well,
okay.
like, yeah,
I'm
'cause
with
there's a sword
Grandmaster
fighter
Radio.
that
Yes.
can now.
Yes.
Okay. 3, this is an option with options.
Yeah.
Number 4, 30 AC fighters are possible.
Exactly. That's kind of where I was going to go with this. This is definitely a weapon for someone who tries to be a quote unquote party tank.
Yes. Yeah.
It's like, okay, you might not need to beef up your defenses because you're probably pretty beefed up already until like things really hit the fan. But what's great is, well, until that happens, you got an awesome +3 to attack rolls and damage rolls. That's great. But when you really need to lock it in and get your AC up because shit is really going bad, like, yeah, you could get up to what they said, 30 AC. Like,
Yeah.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
That's
And
hardcore.
Yeah, that's hard. That's a Tarask.
Yes.
You're a mini Tarask. Good for you. And it was only possible through the Defender.
But you could still be beaten by a level 1 Aarakocra with a short bow.
It's so true. It's so true.
I saw this meme that was like, the Tarask walks away. And it's Gru, and he's like, the Tarask walks away.
That's too funny.
Yeah. That thread continues, but it's it goes on.
So, question to the audience: do you think that the Defender qualifies as a legendary sword? Tell us in the comments.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say yes.
I like the Defender, and I appreciate that Grandmaster Radio came to its defense. Moving on.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, we have a very, truly iconic blade, the Holy Avenger.
Ooh, yeah, I've heard of that.
It's a sword that almost everyone familiar with the game has at least heard of. It very well may be the most iconic sword, non-artifact sword in D&D. A Holy Avenger is a legendary sword type. These swords were forged to battle evil in all of its forms and are greatly prized by paladins from all across the realms. This makes sense as they possess great and magnificent powers that are only fully realized in the hands of a benevolent holy warrior. Yeah, if you're not a paladin, the sword is not nearly as useful to you.
Okay.
A Holy Avenger is I read that.
A newly forged
Holy Avenger is merely a sword forged from cold iron. Its true might only released when placed in the hands of a paladin, whereupon it becomes a more powerful holy weapon. To forge a Holy Avenger, a craftsman must be both a good alignment and have access to the Holy Aura spell. So essentially, they must be a minimum a 15th level cleric, because that's when you get that spell.
Right, okay.
The creation of such a great holy blade requires at least 60,000 gold pieces, along with a great amount of time and heroic levels of energy.
Yeah, it's like a baked-in guide of like, you can give it to your players when X and
Yeah,
Y
exactly. Yeah,
occur.
exactly right.
The whole 60K gold is a fair amount.
It's a lot. It's 60 platinum pieces.
Probably. What do you think is easier to carry? Probably the 60 platinum.
I think
pieces?
so.
But you still need like an apparatus to carry those 60 platinum, right? That's heavy stuff.
Platinum's not that heavy. I don't think 60 pieces of platinum.
Oh, I don't know why I was thinking bars.
They should
60
be coins.
okay,
Yeah, they're coins, not bars.
60 coins
Yeah,
is no big deal.
Yeah, that should be
Yeah.
fucking heavy. God, I can't imagine. That's like $1 million.
I was just
D&D
like
money.
imagining a giant pile of gold on a cart.
Yeah,
or a
pretty much.
Tensor's floating disc or whatever the fuck.
There we go.
like
There
that
we
sort of
go.
thing.
The Holy Avenger is usually portrayed as a longsword or greatsword of elegant design, with angelic wings or holy symbols as its hilt and crossguard, and it exists in Pathfinder 2nd Edition as well as all editions of Dungeons & Dragons.
Cool. So is there you have a
I
Pathfinder
should have-
stat for me
I
there
sh-
too?
yep,
Okay,
yes,
nice.
I
Cool,
do.
cool.
Let's
So we
do
have the
it.
Holy Avenger, which
Which stat are we looking at first?
we're gonna go 5e then Pathfinder.
Okay, sounds good.
Because that's how we were born here on the show.
It's true. It's
5e
true.
then Pathfinder.
Gotcha.
So I pictured you complete this epic holy dungeon of sorts, like the Paladin's Keep or whatever.
Sure.
And you get to the end, and there's like 3 like armor-clad statues like holding the Holy Avengers in like the final room.
Ooh,
and you
I like
have to
it.
like go like show your loyalty to God or whatever the
Yeah,
fuck it is
sure.
that you're doing as a paladin, and like they give you the swords and then,
Yeah,
like,
you have
shut
to
down.
prove your worthiness.
Yeah, wouldn't it be cool if like a bunch of people in the party got like, a Holy Avenger sword, but then like Holy Avenger spears and
that
you know,
would be cool.
like
That would be really cool.
some rogue daggers or whatever you needed. Like
Mhm.
you grab the first sword, and then the rest of the party can have their holy weapons too, because they're like your wards in this
Mhm.
version of whatever mission.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that'd be so fucking
Yeah.
cool to see the statue holding it and like hand it over to you and
I
show
think-
your.
I agree.
Yeah,
I
paladins
agree.
are cool.
Paladins are
fucking
fun.
Cool. This sword looks fucking great. If you guys want to go look at it.
Yes.
This weapon, any sword, legendary, requires attunement by a paladin. Specifically, you gain a +3 bonus to attack and damage rolls made with this magic weapon. When you hit a fiend or an undead with it, that creature takes an extra 2d10 radiant damage. While you hold the drawn sword, not like if it's sheathed, I guess, it creates an aura in a 10-foot radius around you. You and all creatures friendly to you in the aura have advantage on saving throws against spells and other magical effects.
So that stacks particularly well with the aura of protection, I believe it's called, that all paladins get, where
Yeah.
you get the paladin's
it's a
charisma
static
bonus.
yeah.
Yeah. Plus you have advantage. Like, dear God.
And if you're 17 or more levels in the paladin class, the radius of the aura increases to 30 feet.
Yeah.
So like an actual usable amount of space.
It's man.
So you
having
can
a
start using it
paladin-
at 15. Essentially, this sword levels up.
Having a paladin in the party is a different lifestyle than not having a paladin in the party.
100%
in 5th edition D&D.
100% correct.
Yes.
Go watch Super Quest Saga and you'll
It's
know
so
what we're
true.
talking
It's
about.
so
Josh
true.
Freeland is is he an angel? Is who knows?
Who's to say?
This can be greatsword, longsword, rapier, scimitar, short sword. They all have different damage types. So flavor it as you will. I don't see why you can't apply this to like making a dagger or whatever.
I didn't catch it. Did it have an 8 like plus? Was it like a +1 or +2?
A
Or,
+3.
Oh, it's a plus.
I
yeah,
imagine most of
fucking
these items are
Christ,
going to
yeah.
be at least a +2
Yeah,
or 3.
They're legendary after all.
Do we go up past +3?
No,
in bonuses?
not in 5th edition.
Not for items.
4th edition, it goes up to like +19.
Obviously, you could do that. Like, hey, it's a +4. I created a +4 dagger that did like a life drain thing one time because it's a fucking D4 of damage.
Mm-hmm. Sure, yeah.
Like I was like, this is a good ass dagger.
Yeah, it's the best dagger ever made, apparently.
It was the best item I've ever put in a game.
Sure. That's awesome.
It just didn't do it. It didn't do a lot of damage, but it had like other effects stapled into it, like a dagger, a magical dagger should.
Right.
I am now looking at the Archives of Nethys, which is the Pathfinder 2nd Edition wiki, I guess.
The compendium,
The
if you will.
compendium, yeah. So I wonder how much of, Pathfinder. We're still new here for Pathfinder. So you can get it out of the core rulebook, page 601. That's cool. That's cool information to include. In Pathfinder, it costs 4,500 gold. I have not a lot of frame of reference for that. Usage held in one hand. Bulk is 1. Base weapon is longsword. The gleaming Holy Avenger is the iconic weapon of powerful paladins. The crossbar of this +2 greater striking Holy Cold Iron longsword.
Welcome
is-
to Pathfinder,
Yeah,
baby.
Here we go. Tags all day. I love
Here we
tags.
go.
All these Holy, Cold Iron, and Longsword are all tagged, so they have like a reference sheet that you can go look at.
Yeah.
Those things is styled to look like angel wings. Nice. Tradition holds that those who see their reflection in the Holy Avenger's highly polished blade have their faults laid bare.
Ooh.
If you are evil, you are enfeebled too. So Pathfinder has like levels of
of
status effects. So
yeah,
enfeebled
of
is a status
conditions.
effect, and so level 2 enfeebled basically. While carrying or wielding this weapon, activate is it's going to take 2 of your 3 combat actions. Command, interact, frequency once per turn, effect. You command the sword and point it at a creature you can see. The sword casts detect alignment to detect evil.
Damn.
But this targets only the selected creature instead of detecting in an area.
Right.
And then paladin
You
wielder.
just point the sword and like judge their soul.
You fucking Ghost Rider, right?
Yeah.
Paladin wielder. If you're a champion of the paladin cause, you also gain the following 2 benefits. When you critically hit an evil creature with the Holy Avenger, the creature is slowed 1 and enfeebled 2 for 1 round. You can activate the sword in the following way. Activate, it's going to take 1 action. Command, frequency once per day. So it's a once per day effect. Requirements, you hit a creature using the Holy Avenger on your previous action. So after you hit somebody, the effect is you cast Dispel Magic at the same level as your champion focus spells, which I'm not really sure what that is.
So focus spells are a type of spells a lot of classes get that don't take slots.
Yeah. Do I have focus spells as my bard? I think
Yes,
I
you
have
do.
2.
Yeah, you have 2. Yeah.
Okay.
And your focus spells levels are always whatever your level is in the class that you're in.
Right. Okay. Got it. I am learning Pathfinder.
Yeah, aren't we all?
It's going well. It must target an illusion the creature you hit created, a spell affecting the creature you hit, or an item the creature you hit wears or carries. So you can turn off like their magic armor or whatever.
It's pretty cool.
The spell or item you attempt to counteract must be within 120 feet of you. That's pretty fucking sweet, man.
Yeah.
It's just like, I see the truth.
Yeah,
Smack
exactly.
them and it basically obliterates some sort of magic. So if they're, I imagine there's an equivalent to like haste or buffs like that in
Sure.
Pathfinder.
Yeah.
Those sound like candidates to turn off.
Absolutely.
Which is cool, especially if it's like a haste-like spell where it has that detrimental effect after the haste ends, where they are basically negged for actions for a turn.
Yeah.
Very cool. Craft requirements, so you can make this sword. You are a champion with the Paladin cause. Supply a casting of Detect Alignment and Dispel Magic. The initial raw materials must include 120 gold pieces of cold iron. Or 120, I guess, gold pieces worth of cold iron.
That sounds right.
It just says GP of cold iron.
Yeah, so it's a gold pieces worth of cold iron, yeah.
And then there's an advertisement for a grocery store.
Oh, that's nice. So I think that the Pathfinder 2 version of the Holy Avenger is really cool. It does seem blatantly less potent when it comes to the damage because it's not doing extra damage to fiends or undead.
It just has a lot of utility effects.
I take that back though. The cold iron aspect of it. Go ahead and click that keyword. It'll probably take you to what cold iron does. I forgot cold iron does do extra damage to fiends specifically.
Ah, that's right. Yeah. Okay. So cold iron weapons deal additional damage to creatures with weakness to cold iron, like demons and fae.
Does it say how much?
It doesn't.
Okay. Well, the details for that are probably somewhere further within, and we don't have time to go digging.
It's kind of a rabbit hole thing, but if item +2, I don't know. Like we said, we're still learning Pathfinder. I'm sure our Pathfinder buffs out there can help people out also in the meantime.
I'd be curious to know.
But this isn't a rabbit hole we can really go
No,
down.
because we got another Legend Sword to get to.
Yes.
The Luck Blade.
That is fucking cool. I love the artwork for it.
Yes, it's
kinda
a very
chonky.
nice. It's a very nice looking sword. I like it.
It looks like it would be fun to like actually hit something with this.
So, unlike the Holy Avenger, this is a sword that everyone can enjoy. It's time to discuss the Luck Blade. A Luck Blade is a powerful magical sword that increases its wearer's luck by granting a number of benefits. Any type of sword can be enchanted to become a Luck Blade. However, short swords are most commonly depicted as Luck Blades.
Okay.
That's probably why that one seems chonky to you, because
Yeah,
it's shorter.
short sword.
Yeah. The wielder of a Luck Blade enjoys a number. I read that. Oh wait, no. The wielder of a Luck Blade enjoys a number of magical benefits. The blade itself is enchanted to improve its accuracy in combat and confer and improve resistance to general detrimental effects and misfortunes, magical or otherwise.
Okay. That all tracks.
Yeah. Additionally, the blade grants its wielder with the power of good fortune, giving them the ability to turn one immediate bad turn of events into a good one once per day. Finally, a luck blade is granted with up to 3 uses of the wish spell.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
I was waiting for reaction. Each of which can also be cast only once a day. Once all uses are expended, the sword can no longer provide new wishes, but all its other enhancements remain.
So you can use it once per day one time ever.
One time ever. Yes,
Okay,
exactly
got
right.
it.
Once you burn through them, they're all gone.
So you can't.
It's
just
not a
genie
wish
up.
sword.
Yeah, like you can, well, also you can't make 2 wishes right there on the spot, right?
No,
have to
you
make
can't,
One
yeah.
wish and then,
And then-
wait till tomorrow.
Mhm.
So like cast your first wish at like 9 in the morning, so that when you
When you wake
till,
up the
like,
next day, you're ready to go with your next wish.
guys, I can't do anything crazy until 9:15 tomorrow. you know.
Let's see here. Oh, most often the luck blade is portrayed as a bit gaudy, golden inlaid, and gem encrusted short sword.
Yeah, it's ostentatious.
Yeah,
in
quite
its design.
so.
In a good way, I think. Nice mix of green and gold. You know, you were screaming halfling at your character sheet if this sword is in the question here, right? Like,
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, look, a short sword with luck features.
It's
know.
very halfling-esque.
This is like the level 15 halfling that
Mm-hmm.
is so fucking lucky.
They're so goddamn lucky.
Yeah.
So lucky they found a luck blade.
Yeah.
All right, tell me about the stats of the 5e D&D luck blade.
Okay, it's a weapon. Any sword, legendary, requires attunement. You gain a +1 bonus to attack and damage rolls made with this magic weapon. While the sword is on your person, you also gain a +1 bonus to saving throws, which is fucking cool. You just have it on you. You don't have to be attacking with it.
Nope.
Look, if the sword is on your person, you can call on its luck. No action required. To re-roll 1 attack roll, ability check, or saving throw you dislike, you must use the second roll. This property cannot be used again until the next dawn. So it literally tells you when. So if it's like, 3 in the morning, and
You could get another use very
break
quickly
one
after.
off, that's the only way you're going to be able to make that happen. Wish. The sword has 1d4 -1 charges. While holding it, you can use an action to expend 1 charge and cast the wish spell from it. This property can't be used again until the next dawn. The sword loses this property if it has no charges. What are you doing with our healing dice?
I am going to roll and see how lucky my luck blade is.
Oh, hell yeah.
Here's a D4. My luck blade has a total of 0 charges. I rolled a 1. I'm not very lucky.
I would say -1 minimum of 1.
Does it say
No, it
minimum
does
one?
not. You have 0 charges.
It's
of
still a
wish.
good sword, though.
Yeah, hell yeah, it is. And it's got this applicable weapons chart once again, so it's drawn like a short sword apparently, but it could be a great sword, a long sword, a rapier, a scimitar, or a short sword. This would make a cool looking rapier for sure, or a scimitar. I think that both of those would be cool.
I agree.
Yeah, this is fucking.
It's a pretty cool sword.
It sounds more awesome to have it and not use it to attack than it does to like if you're lucky, you'll find another sword that's better for attacking, like
I guess so, but you don't get that reroll feature, right? That reroll
no,
feature.
you just have to have it on you. You don't have to be using it. No action required to reroll 1 attack, ability check,
shit.
or saving throw, as long as it's on your person.
You just carry that on you. Oh, wow, you're
Exactly.
right. You're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. So, and then when you
Wow.
need it, you pull it out and you do a wish, or if
Yeah.
you fucking need to, you take it out and you stab somebody because you're in the fucking middle of whatever.
Yeah.
And that's fine too.
Imagine how mad you'd be. You actually made me stab somebody with this.
Yeah, like it's actually not optimal to use for attacking if you have
Once you get into the +2s and stuff.
yeah,
of
exactly.
weapon,
If you
you're
have a
right.
+2 weapon, a magical weapon,
Uh-huh.
like let's say you have a sunblade, right?
Yeah.
Like I would definitely be using that to attack with over this,
Mm-hmm.
and this would just be chilling. While the sword is on your person, you also gain a +1 bonus to saving throws.
Wow.
So you can just use luck, use the +1 for saving throws, and then when you need it, you pull it out. And
You're
and
right.
wish.
You're
and
absolutely
you don't
right.
even have to unsheath it. While holding it, you can use an action. Like it's been specific about that. So
Just don't leave it at home.
don't leave it at
that's
home.
it.
Leave it on your hip, baby.
All right, cool. Well, tell me about the Pathfinder version.
I will. The luck blade is rare. It's got divination, fortune, magical. Let's see. Source core rulebook, page 601. Usage held in one hand. Bulk L. Base weapon, short sword. So this Pathfinder doesn't have like the versatility table like 5e does, which like whatever, you just fucking do whatever you want. Luck and good fortune bless the wielder of this +3 greater striking short sword. Luck blades are crafted in a variety of styles, but their hilts or blades always incorporated symbols of luck, such as cloves, horseshoes, fish, ladybugs, or other symbols. I imagine they mean like koi fish. Those are lucky, right? Or are all fish lucky?
I don't know. I maybe the koi fish thing, but I'm not sure.
Do you know what an osprey is?
I've heard the word.
It's like a bird of prey that dives into the ocean.
Okay.
And those fish are not lucky.
No, the opposite.
No. Activate. It's got this loopy symbol with an arrow. I don't know what that is. It's the first time I've seen
Let me
that.
pull it up because I don't know what you're referring
Google
to.
Pathfinder 2e loopy symbol with an arrow. Envision, I think, is what it says. Activate the symbol and then envision, and then colon.
Pulling it up
Semicolon.
right now. Let's see here.
Frequency once per day. Trigger.
Oh, activate. That's a reaction.
Reaction.
It's a
That makes
reaction,
sense.
yeah.
Loopy. Okay. Trigger. You miss on a strike with the luck blade. So if you miss an attack, the effect is re-roll the triggering attack roll and use the new result. This is a fortune effect.
Okay.
Craft requirements: supply a casting of wish, which sounds hard. It costs 15,000 gold. Let's see. Some luck blade. There's a different luck blade, the wishing luck blade, that costs twice as much, 30,000 gold pieces. Some luck blades contain one wish when crafted. You can cast this spell as an arcane innate spell while wielding the luck blade, expending the spell. A spellcaster who can cast wish can place another wish into the blade by spending 8,000 gold pieces and 4 days of downtime.
It's interesting. So it's rechargeable.
They just have to say that Disney shit like for 4 days straight, just over and over again. I wish I may. I wish I might.
Oh my
Fuck
gosh.
someone up with the sword tonight. A wishing luck blade can hold no more than one wish spell at a time, unlike the 5e version,
Which can hold up to 3 or 0 if you roll bad,
or
like
0
me.
if you suck.
But
But it sounds like you can just like in
So-
5e like transmit a wish into the spell. I think that would be cool. Like I'm gonna use my wish slot, like my high level bard in the party is gonna use his wish slots to like pump wishes into the blade or whatever.
yeah. Well, the thing is, like, you don't get the wish spell till like end of the game.
Yeah, I mean,
but,
well,
like,
that's where we're at with all these swords.
Yeah,
though.
it's a way to, I guess, get an extra wish on the same day if you want.
Yeah, 2
Right?
wishes.
Yeah, 2 wishes in a day.
I should look up the
God
the
forbid.
requirements for wish in D&D because
Yeah.
I forgot what they are.
I will say the Pathfinder version seems like a sword more useful for actually using, but less useful for all the other stuff.
Right. What level do you get 9th level spells?
I want to say not till like level 17.
Yeah, it's up there.
Yeah.
This wish is a 9th level spell. It takes 1 action, range self, component V, duration instantaneous. It's conjuration. It's a buff. It's a buff spell in 5e. The mightiest spell a mortal can cast by simply speaking aloud. What are the materials? It's just components. You can alter the very foundations of reality in accord with your desires. The basic use of this spell is to duplicate any other spell of 8th level or lower. You don't need to meet any requirements in that spell, including costly components. So, like a revival spell with a costly diamond or some sort of gem is not applicable when you use it. You can bypass it with this spell.
Right.
The spell simply takes effect. Alternatively, you can create one of the following effects of your choice. You can create one object of up to 2,500 gold pieces in value, which I'm sure all these swords are in that category.
Yeah.
That isn't a magic item.
Oh.
So maybe a house. Fuck it. The object can be no more than 300 feet in a small house in any dimension. A she shack. Do you know what she shacks are?
The spell's getting worse and worse as we keep.
And it appears in an unoccupied space you can see on the ground. The next one is you allow up to 20 creatures that you can see to regain all HP, and you end all effects on them described in the Greater Restoration spell. Very applicable. Very cool in the middle of a fight. You grant up to 10 creatures that you can see resistance to a damage type you choose. This really lays 5e's priorities in place, doesn't it? You grant up to 10 creatures you can see immunity to a single spell or other magical effect for 8 hours. For instance, you could make yourself and all your companions immune to a Lich's life drain attack. Very, very cool. I was actually going to mention a Lich stuff. You undo a single recent event by forcing a reroll of any roll made with the last round, including your last turn. Reality reshapes itself to accommodate the new result.
So here's the thing. What if it's an event that happened that didn't involve a roll? You just can't undo that event?
I mean, you could quantify it in some way. Like if it didn't require a roll, then I don't know. For example, a wish spell could undo an opponent's successful save, a foe's critical hit, or a friend's failed save. You can force the reroll to be made with advantage or disadvantage, and you can choose whether to use the reroll or the original roll. That's very game mechanic-y. I think you could use that.
Yeah, and also if you are trying to undo a roll with the wish spell, it's got to be one of those. Oh, you got crit by the Balor, and it dropped you down so low you instantly died. It's like,
right, and
I'm going to burn the
like,
wish because
yeah. This next section at the bottom might answer some questions that you had.
Okay.
So you might be able to achieve something beyond the scope of the above examples.
Oh, this is let the DM decide.
Yeah, state your wish to the GM. Why they say GM right here? Which one do you want? D&D. Can't have both.
You can't have both.
State your wish to the GM as precisely as possible. The GM has great latitude in ruling what occurs.
Of course they do. It's their fucking game.
Yeah.
Anyways,
the greater wish, the greater the wish, the greater the likelihood that something goes wrong. This spell might simply fail. The effect you desire might only be partly achieved, or you might suffer some unforeseen consequence as a result of how you worded the wish. That sucks. For example, wishing that a villain were dead might propel you forward in time to a period when the villain is no longer alive, effectively removing you from the game. That's like a deck of many things bullshit. That's like the wish that comes. This is the wish that comes out of the deck of many things, or if your game master is being a dick.
Yeah. Yes.
Similarly, wishing for a legendary magic item or artifact might instantly transport you to the presence of the item's current owner. The stress of casting this spell to produce any effect other than duplicating another spell weakens you. After enduring that stress, each time you cast a spell, you finish a long rest, you take 1d10 necrotic damage per level of that spell. This damage can't be reduced or prevented in any way. In addition, your strength drops to 3 if it isn't 3 or lower already for 2d4 days. For each of those days that you spend resting and doing nothing more than light activity, your remaining recovery time decreases by 2 days.
So I really like that part right there.
Yeah.
The fact that there's like this is a very, very powerful spell, and there is more detriment than just burning the slot.
Yeah, it's in line with how 5e treats magic, right?
Yeah,
it's a physical cost to doing magic.
Right. I really like it. It reminds me, so in Dungeon Crawl Classics, spellcasting has a mechanic called spell burn. And you can do this for any spell. And basically is you can burn your physical attributes.
Okay.
And you could burn them down real far. Ooh. Like, I think zero and anything will kill you, but you could like burn your strength. Or
so if you go 0 charisma, like I no longer can manipulate people,
physical
and you die.
It has to be physical, so it has to be.
Okay.
I think in that game there's strength, agility, and it might be Constitution or it's endurance. Is one of those two things.
Some kind of
same thing.
You know.
But you can burn it, but what it does is it deeply it physically affects you. Obviously, if your strength is a 1, you can't walk.
Yeah.
And it takes X amount of like days or weeks or whatever to recover. So like you might find yourself in a situation in Dungeon Crawl Classics where the only way you guys are getting out of this alive is a big spell burn.
Totally.
By doing it, you are literally out of commission for months afterwards.
All your muscles atrophy.
Exactly.
You have to go to physical therapy.
And it's a cool mechanic, and it's a cool idea. And this one spell, Wish, kind of reminds me of that, and I like it.
If you could wish, if you have 2 wishes, like with your sword, you could do a big wish and then wish yourself back to normal. Probably.
There we go.
Well, it does say you can't prevent it in any way.
So yeah, then that's a wrap. It is what it is.
Finally, there is a 33% chance that you are unable to cast the wish spell ever again if you suffer this stress.
Oh shit. That's interesting.
Yep.
All right, well, we got 3 more legendary swords to get to. Before we do that, let's take a short rest.
I would enjoy a short rest. A sword rest. I mean a short rest.
Absolutely.
Okay, bye. We've returned.
Indeed we have.
We are fucking back.
Indeed we are.
Yes, I'm back.
I am too.
That's the longest break I've ever taken from our recording sessions.
It is.
Or working on the show in general, like ever. I missed an F-Bats. I think I'm just going to start dropping those weekly because I think I'm confusing everybody with the stop gaps in between sessions. So I'm just going to drop them weekly from now on. And I've been leaving little notes, recording notes up at the top of episodes. So I'll address it there as well. But yeah, I did miss a drop because I was sick. But this the upcoming Tuesday after this recording, actually, it's tomorrow because we're recording this episode, and this episode airs on Monday. So Tuesday, the day after this drops, there will be an FBATS.
Cool.
And then the subsequent weeks after that, there will be FBATS until FBATS is out, however long that takes. Should take about a year. So yeah, FBATS is going to be a weekly release thing. If you want to listen to FBATS early, that's still a possibility, and you can do so on patreon.com/thedungeoncast, where all those 25 sessions exists or whatever. I think it actually might be more because we did like a weird offshoot thing. It could be like closer to 30 that we didn't like count. We're like, oh, it's like a alt-U sort of, of situation.
Interesting.
Where I made a bunch of Matrix references. And, there was like a potion that got drank that lets you spit up fireballs with burps.
Okay.
And like that was wild. And in that episode, the Nat 1s made everybody drop their weapons, and there were more Nat 1s than any session that I've ever played.
Of course.
So
that
everybody
happens.
was dropping their weapons left and right.
Weapons all over
it was
the floor.
crazy. Yeah, dude, people were picking up random shit. People were picking up fucking branches, and like they were dropping the branches. It was dumb. It was super dumb. FBATS is fucking crazy, and I think you guys will love it. So go check it out. It's on the Super Quest Saga feed. It's now the FBATS feed, and it will become other stuff later, like Unhallowed and Super Quest Omega whenever we get back to that. But yeah, go to patreon.com/thedungeoncast. You can check out early episodes ad free as early as we can get them. Sometimes I get COVID and can't work on the show. So.
That happened one time.
Yeah, it happened one time. It could happen again, but hopefully not.
All right, let's get back to swords. What do you say?
I think we should get back to swords.
Let's
what
do
do
it.
you say?
I say yes.
I also say yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Swords. What do we got?
We got the Vorpal sword.
Vorpal's Drag Race.
I like that. So next up, we have another contender for the most legendary sword of D&D, the Vorpal sword. Though it actually might be a bit contentious whether or not this one should be a legendary in the legendary sword episode. So traditionally, a Vorpal weapon is usually a sword. In the 5e DMG, it's stated that it must be a sword.
Okay.
And yet there have been multiple instances in Dungeons & Dragons lore of a Vorpal weapon being an axe.
Oh. What is an axe but a funny shaped sword?
Absolutely. And the Pathfinder version of the weapon states that any weapon that does slashing damage can qualify as a Vorpal weapon.
There you go.
All that being said, the iconic Vorpal weapon is definitely a longsword. So it's on the list.
Okay, yeah. I've seen, you play RPGs or whatever, like JRPGs or like just video games in general. There's usually in the fantasy genre a Vorpal sword somewhere.
Yeah.
I think in Golden Sun it's cursed. It's like
Oh,
you
interesting.
probably shouldn't pick this up. Like you literally have to go to a temple and like cleric has to like unequip it from you if you want to change it out. 'Cause
Oh,
it's
that's
like,
interesting.
You were fucking tight forever, bro.
Right.
It like drains your HP as you
Oh,
use it,
okay.
sort of
So,
thing.
Yeah. They're
But it is very powerful. It's just
Right.
like you
It's
you
a trade-off.
could give it to your tank for a big fight.
Can you
He has
heal
the extra
them, or
HP.
does that
you can heal them? Yeah,
Okay.
and you're gonna have to.
Right.
Like,
Right. Okay.
They're basically you give it to your guy with the most HP. He can do a bunch of extra damage, and then you can do like a full party heal, which you're gonna have to do anyway, and it'll actually mean something for him. So it is a strat.
Right.
But you don't want it on him all the time for
Right.
like stupid fights.
It's too much to pay.
Yeah, so go do that fight. Go, unequip it from him at the local temple, and then go about your fucking adventure.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was a cool mechanic.
Yeah.
I know what like Vorpal is bad
Well,
or extra dangerous. I
yeah,
guess.
I think deadly.
Yeah.
I think deadly is what it comes up to. So Vorpal weapons are historically forged out of arender, a bluish green metal found streaking rock in the form of vitreous glass. The metal is famous for its ability to hold the finest edge even after heavy use, and that is kind of the thing about Vorpal weapons is they're just so fucking sharp.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The secret of working arender was originally known by gnomes, but subsequently elves of Everesca and Evermeet also became proficient in this strange metal.
Those are like places.
Places in Forgotten Realms, yes.
Okay.
Not much is known about the process of Vorpal sword creation besides the fact that a powerful spellcaster is required.
And rocks have to streak,
Yeah.
like in old school.
So it's the metal is streaking
We're
across the
going
rocks.
streaking. When rocks streak, they become glass. Duh.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And they need the keen edge and circle of death spells to add this magic quality to the weapon. We're talking about the creation of Vorpal Swords
You
again.
need the Keen Edge and the Circle of Death spell. Circle of Death spells? I'm unfamiliar.
I don't know if those are part of the 5e spell list. They're definitely part of the 3.5 spell list.
About to find out.
While you find out, I will continue. Vorpal Swords are probably most famous for their ability to magically sever almost any opponent's head.
Cool.
There is no unified representation of the Vorpal Sword. The depictions vary wildly. The main thing is that they are almost always depicted as long swords, and they chop fucking people's heads off.
Yeah, the old owl bear disembowels people. Like that.
Oh,
used
yeah,
to be
yeah.
a thing,
They used
right?
to be a thing. Yeah.
With the D&D movie coming out, there's like lore about owl bears are coming up because, like, if I've seen the trailer, the fucking owl bear comes out of the sky and freaks everybody out.
Yeah.
Like older editions have real cool extra effects that creatures do. Stuff I wish was in 5e that I usually end up homebrewing onto my 5e stuff.
That's kind of 5e's big downfall.
Yeah. So circle, or do you want to continue? Or should I read the circle?
No,
of
you
Death
go
spell?
right ahead. Go right ahead.
Circle of Death is a sixth level spell. It has a range of 150 feet, takes 1 action, components VSM, so there is a material component, it seems. Instantaneous necromancy, requires a con save. I guess I shouldn't be reading just like statically like that. A sphere of negative energy ripples out in a 60-foot radius sphere from a point within range. Each creature in that area must make a Constitution saving throw. A target takes 8d6 necrotic damage on a failed save, or half as much damage on a successful one. At higher levels, when you cast a spell using 7th level, the damage increases. The powder of a crushed black pearl worth at least 500 gold pieces. So go find a black pearl, crush it, snort it, snot rocket it back into your Vorpal sword. Circle of Death spell. So I guess you have to cast this, and then you could make the spell inside
that
of the
spell, and also said the Keen Edge spell.
Keen Edge. Okay,
Which, again, I'm not sure if that's actually in the 5e list or
I'm
not.
about to find out. No, I'm not seeing it.
It didn't ring a bell.
Yeah,
It's an older spell.
gotcha.
The idea here is that like these types of weapons are such a pain in the ass to make. That's why there's so few of them.
Right. Yes. You gotta be
So,
into some evil shit.
any questions about the Vorpal sword before you read me the 2 stat blocks?
No, let's get into it.
All right, let's
Weapon
do it.
is any sword that deals slashing damage. Legendary requires attunement. Just to be clear, attunement takes 1 hour of chilling.
Yes, and unless you're an artificer, you can only attune 3 items at any given time.
Gotcha.
Artificers get a 4th one.
They don't have to be like, I can attune 1 sword, 1 headpiece, 1
No,
boots.
it's just 3 individual items. Doesn't matter what they are. You
Yeah.
just can't attune more than 3.
Can you wear 2 different magic boots on one on each foot and get both their effects?
I-
Or do you have to wear both boots?
I think you got to wear both boots, but I do love the idea of you getting like a lesser version of each enchantment.
Yeah, like do I
That's
cut the
so-
stats in half?
Yeah, that'd be very funny.
That would be cool. A mix and match. Okay, back to the Vorpal sword.
Yeah.
You gain a +3 bonus to attack and damage rolls made with this magic weapon. In addition, the weapon ignores resistance to slashing damage. They're so sharp it doesn't fucking care.
Yeah.
When
She's
you
so damn
attack
sharp.
when you attack a creature that has at least 1 head with this weapon and rolls, does a flail still have a head technically?
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
Yes,
okay.
definitely.
I love those things.
Me too.
When you attack a creature that has at least 1 head with this weapon and roll a 20 on the attack roll, you cut off one of the creature's heads. If the the creature dies if it can't survive without the lost head. A creature is immune to this effect if it is immune to slashing damage, doesn't have or need a head, has legendary actions,
I don't need this.
or the GM decides that the creature is too big for its head to be cut off with this weapon.
Okay. How big does this thing need to be? that you can't-
That's some fucking liberties right there,
Yeah,
right? Like, isn't that the spirit of this game? That line right there?
right.
Fuck. Such a creature. Unless your DM says that that's not cool. And now you guys can have a fucking argument at the table.
Yes,
Because I
it's
know
very
that
true. It's
a
very
lot
true.
of times that's going to go down. Because you
Right.
gave me this Vorpal sword, and it has an effect that lets me cut heads off.
All right.
And the third guy we
I'm
fought after I
going-
got it, now you're saying I can't.
His neck's made of adamantium. It just won't go
My
through.
first crit, this guy's too
So,
thick.
okay. All right, I'm going to throw some monsters at you right now, and you
Okay.
can tell me whether you as a DM would say the Vorpal sword can or can't.
Oh, hang on. Such
Okay,
a
go ahead.
creature, I only have 1 line left. Such a
Okay.
creature instead takes an extra 68 slashing damage from the hit. This can only be a great sword, longsword, scimitar. Okay. Go ahead.
Ancient red dragon. Does it cut the head off?
No.
No.
I don't know, man.
Okay.
Like how thick
Okay.
the neck?
I mean, I don't know. You've seen what a red dragon looks like.
Oh, come on.
So I mean, okay, a long sword is what, 3 feet long?
That's the thing. Here's where we're getting into problems. It's the biggest red dragon you've ever seen. What about the fat red dragon from the D&D movie?
Yeah, see, I mean, I don't know. It's magic. For me, it's magic. It has a circle of death spell inlaid into it. So I think it could, except for like the Tarrasque, right?
Okay,
I think it doesn't cut the Tarrasque.
I'm going to go
head
by
off.
Disney's Hercules on this. He is cutting the fuck off of some heads in that movie.
Sure.
What's it called?
Yeah, and that's like a short sword. That's a gladius.
Yes,
yeah.
and he's Hercules, so like, okay, let's
granted.
draw an equivalent here.
He's
like,
the Vorpal part of the sword.
and so you're probably going to be like Hercules-ish level because you're not
Sure.
Hercules, but you have a Vorpal sword, right?
Yeah,
Like, so you're meeting in the middle
absolutely.
there.
Right.
Let's just say you're demigod level. You have this legendary sword.
Mhm,
okay, that's what's bringing you up to power level. So you can go toe to toe with creatures like this.
Yes.
Red dragon. It depends. Is it the fat one? Blah blah blah. Probably. I'm gonna go with a probably in most circumstances. You can, and you said ancient or just a
I said
regular?
ancient because it's the strongest one, right?
Yeah.
Strongest
so
one, right?
I'm gonna say still probably if you crit and you cut off its head and it's all situated like I'm gonna rely on this line. Like it has to be situationally correct. But most of the time, if you're gonna roll that nat 20, you have the sword, you hit a red dragon in the throat.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for me, the reason for me is like, yes, I'll allow it, is because any red dragon worth their salt is going to recognize and stay the fuck away from that Vorpal sword anyways. Like the dragon has no reason to come within attacking distance because it can fly.
Yes, and they can
You
just
know?
use their
Yeah.
short bow.
Now, and if you as a team figure out a way to get your fighter up there and get
then
a chance,
and then you crit.
yeah, you know what? You
did
got it.
Yeah.
I think
I would definitely be setting my character up to like crit as much as possible. Crits
Right.
on 19s and 20s. You know,
Oh yeah,
champion
definitely.
fighter style,
Yeah,
like that sort
absolutely,
of thing.
absolutely. And I the only creature I can think of off the top of my head that I would very much second guess and think about maybe it wouldn't work would be the Tarrasque, and that's it.
Well, I'm looking at a dragon turtle mini we have up there. I don't think you could cut off that thing's head with a Vorpal sword. Here, I'll bring it down.
Yeah, I think you.
That's a thick ass boy. I just don't think like an Otyug. Can you cut the Otyug's head off? It's so thick.
Well, the Godiac doesn't have a head.
Kinda. It's got a stumpy like.
Its body is its head, kind of.
See where we? Okay.
So I don't think it works.
You know what? On that one, I think you cut that bitch in half.
See, but that's the thing. It says if it doesn't
It has
have
all
a
these
head, right?
Dumb caveats.
Okay.
Like I don't like the caveats actually. Like
Right. You just want it to be simple.
I would
It's
try.
like-
Okay, if I were the dungeon master or the GM, as we've listed on D&D Beyond here, if I was a GM in 5e, I would try to make this work for my player every time it came up.
Sure.
But it would have to really be like, okay, come on, man. Like I can't help you here. You know,
right.
it would literally have to be like we're really playing Calvin Ball, and I just can't say yes to that. Let me figure out like such a creature instead takes the 68 extra slashing damage. Let's just like push you as close to KO as I can get you.
So let's come back to dragons real quick. So ancient red dragon, right? I'm gonna be like, yeah, you cut the bitch's head off.
Yeah, the ancient part is what's fucking me up.
No, this is where I think the line should be. So like above ancient red dragon, Fizzbans have those
Fizzban!
the elder worms, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's where I'm like, no, you
Okay.
can't cut its head off because it's borderline
He's too thick.
demigod
He's too
and
thick.
it's too thick.
It's just too thick. The older the dragons get, the thicker their necks are.
Absolutely.
They're like-
All right. I think we spent enough time on that. Let's
Okay.
talk about the Pathfinder Vorpal weapon.
Oh my god, you're right. Okay. We have a rare evocation magical sword. You can find it in core rulebook page 585. It costs 15,000 gold pieces, just like the luck one. Its usage etched onto a slashing melee weapon. I have no fucking clue what that's supposed to mean.
What do you mean?
It says usage and then etched onto a slashing melee weapon.
So it would be the Vorpal rune, I believe. Yeah.
I see. Okay.
So Pathfinder has a rune system where you get runes etched into your weapons and it boosts their power
That's what makes
magically.
them Vorpal.
Yes.
Okay. I'm sure you'd have to like craft it a certain way. Let's read it and find out. Originally created as a means of slaying the legendary Jabberwock, we have a D&D explained. Or what's the title of that thing?
Everything you need to know.
And everything you need to know about the Jabberwock in 5e. It
we
came
do
out
it.
in Wild Beyond the Witchlight. It's a
did.
very cool creature.
Speaking of which, that adventure has a unique Vorpal weapon called the Snicker Snack.
probably for slaying the Jabberwock.
It's exactly what it's for.
Yeah.
It's actually slightly better than your regular Vorpal weapon. I don't remember how or why.
Only
though.
hit with my snicker snack. Okay, so Vorpal weapons prove equally effective against nearly any foe with a head. Sure, nearly any foe with a head. There it is again.
Your first mistake was having a head.
Activate on a loopy reaction, right? Envision.
Yes.
Death, incapacitation, trigger. You roll a 20 on a strike with a weapon, critically succeed, and deal slashing damage. The target must have a head. Effect. The target must succeed at a DC 37 fortitude save or be decapitated, which sounds super duper high. It's just kind of high, probably.
Yeah, I think it's fairly high, but not super high.
Yeah. How high can stuff go in Pathfinder?
I think it can go into the low 50s for sure.
that's what I was
The
gonna
bonuses
guess
and
is
stuff,
50,
yeah.
So the high end, as a like point of reference, the high end is 50.
I'm just gonna pull up a Balor real quick.
Yeah, sure.
And see what its fortitude save is.
Nice. This kills any creature except ones that don't require a head to live. For creatures with multiple heads, this usually kills the creature only if you sever its last head, which I would think the Hydra is like. Oh, well, the Hydra has a rule where like you cut its head off and it grows 2, so it had none for a second, so it doesn't really matter. So maybe like, I don't know. It's been a while since we talked about the Hydra. I wonder what the like. That's probably where this gets tricky.
Well, with the Hydras, I believe once you get them down to certain thresholds, they start losing heads.
Oh, okay.
So like it's kind of built into them. So yeah, if you chop off a head, I think another thing is if you chop off a head, it loses a chunk of its HP too.
Right.
But like it will function down to the last head.
Yeah, I know you can get a lot of heads on those bad boys.
Yeah. Okay. So I have an elite Balor, which is about as strong as Balor gets. It's a level 20 creature. It has a fortitude save of plus 41. So it automatically saves.
You cannot cut off a Balor's head with this fortitude save.
There it is.
Well, I mean, don't you get a bonus?
No, the DC was built into it.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
So
DC 36. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
there it is.
Well, there you have it. So legendary creatures won't be vorpaled. It seems.
Yeah.
They just simply won't. But it's not saying to say that it won't cut them.
Yeah.
It's just you're not getting through that neck. It's too thick. They moved or like they flexed. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna fortify. Don't cut my head off, and then you don't because they're like they're too bulky.
Yeah,
they've done too many farmers carries.
There we go. All right, moving on. We got
All
two
right.
more swords we got to talk about.
Cool.
So now we have the first of 2 sentient weapons that we're going to look at today.
Oh, I like that. I think any of these swords could be a qualifier for a sentient weapon. Like
It's true.
a curse with the demon in there. Or whatever.
Absolutely.
Like,
But this one, the sentience is built in. That's right. Not only can this sword slay a foe, but it can also read a book. Let's talk about the Moonblade.
okay.
So Moonblades are named in part because of the moonstones found in the pommel of each sword, but also for the moon elves that typically wield them. Of all the magic items created by the elves, one of the most prized and jealously guarded is a Moonblade. In ancient times, nearly all elven noble houses claimed one such blade. Over the centuries, some blades have faded from the world, their magic lost as family lines become extinct. Other blades have vanished with their bearers during great quests, thus only a few of these weapons remain. A Moonblade passes down from parent to child. The sword chooses its bearer and remains bonded to that person for life.
That's
If
cool.
the bearer dies, another heir can claim the blade. If no worthy heir exists, the sword lies dormant. It functions like a normal longsword until a worthy soul finds it and lays claim to its power. A Moonblade serves only one master at a time. The attunement process requires a special ritual in the throne room of an elven regent or in a temple dedicated to the elven gods. A Moonblade won't serve anyone in regards as craven, erratic, corrupt, or at odds with preserving and protecting elven kind.
Okay.
If the blade rejects you, you make ability checks, attack rolls, and saving throws at disadvantage for 24 hours. If the blade accepts you, you become attuned to it, and a new rune appears on the blade. You remain attuned to the weapon until you die or the weapon is destroyed.
So this is some of that stuff from previous editions with the like alignment detection and alignment abidement, right? Like,
Yes, and it still carries into 5e, which is a rare thing now in 5e.
Yeah, there are like hints of that around.
Yeah,
like,
this-
remnants that are described like how this Moonblade is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Each wielder contributes to the power of the sword, which is absorbed through the moonstone in the blade's pommel. Thus, each Moonblade is unique, as are the powers given to them. The process of crafting a Moonblade cannot be adequately described. No more than a melody can be conveyed with mere words.
That's fucking cool. This
Yeah.
is very cool. I love the idea. Elves reincarnate, right? So if you have a moonblade and you like make it so you don't have to pass it down after you die, that it's attuned to your soul. So the only person that can wield it is your like reincarnated elf.
Oh
And
well,
they have to go-
my understanding is that your soul goes into the sword when you die if you're attuned to it.
Oh,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Where was that?
I didn't. I don't know. I remember reading it, but I guess I didn't put it in there. I'm not sure.
Maybe you did. Sometimes I don't get every single
It
detail.
might
on
be in the
first
stat
go.
block, and I decided to leave it there.
Oh yeah, it could be there. I guess, but
wh-
that would be I like the thing I said though.
Yeah, I do like the thing you said too, and like it could be whatever you want. I think that's cool. I'm trying right now. I'm trying to pull up quickly the Moonblade in D&D Beyond because I believe this one comes with some charts
My
that
dad
we can
died.
roll on.
Sorry, man, that sucks. It's cool. He's in my sword.
There we go.
I'm gonna carry around for like 500.
I don't know why it
years.
reminds me of Avatar: Last Airbender, where he says his girlfriend became the moon or something like that.
Oh
'Cause
yeah,
that is what happened.
that's
but-
rough, buddy.
That's rough, buddy. Yeah.
There
Um,
was a really funny meme where it was like Neil Armstrong and the guy pulls out a lightsaber and he's like, "I landed on the moon," and then somebody else pulls their lightsaber out. It's like Gru. He's like, "I stole the moon." And then somebody else pulls out a lightsaber. It's like, I moved the. It's Superman. He's like, I moved the moon.
Mhm.
And then there's Sokka down the hall. He's got a red lightsaber. He turns it on.
That's fantastic. I love that. That's great.
Watch Avatar: The Last Airbender. Damn it! There's
It's
gonna
a-
be so much Airbender stuff coming up.
It's a fantastic show.
It's so good.
So there are charts, some D100 charts. I'm going to get a couple D10s ready for it.
Okay, perfect. I see them. I'm gonna start
Um,
reading while you
okay.
do that. Thank you to for these healing dice. What was the company that sent us those?
It is, I think it was America's Heart Association, but I have to look up specifically who sent it to
Yeah,
us.
we posted them on socials. They sent them to us as like a promo thing. They're really actually fucking cool.
They're,
Like they're
number
some
one,
of the-
they're very beautiful.
yeah, they're some of the coolest dice we have in the
And
studio.
they
We've got some real
have,
cool ones now.
They have a different organ embedded in each of them. And right now I'm going to our Twitter to see what exactly I tweeted.
Yeah, we're now dice partners, like very loosely dice partners with them. D20 Collective, Norse Foundry has sent us stuff. Yeah, cool shit. Thanks for that. Sorry for the quick what am I trying to say? Sorry for the plugs. Let's move on.
Well,
What-
real quick, the
Okay.
dice, they are from Donate Life.
Donate Life. That's what it was.
You can check them out at thehealingdice.com. They're actually doing some giveaways for people who become organ donors for these dice.
Yeah,
So,
very cool. Being an organ donor is important. I've always been one. I don't care what I want to be cremated. I don't care what goes on with my stuff.
Yeah.
To help some. I think the stat was like you can save up to like 6 people's lives by donating your organs.
Yeah.
I think that's fucking awesome.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah. The dice have like organs inside of them, like little
Yeah,
models.
yeah,
Not
they
real
do.
organs.
Yeah.
They're not real organs in the dice.
The organs of mice.
There are small plastic models of like a liver and a kidney and a heart inside of each individual dice. They're like I think one of the dice has an eyeball in it. The
It
D4,
does.
right?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
it does.
super cool. Not a real eyeball.
Let's back
was
to the
not
Moonblade.
donated.
I want to roll these dice.
Moonblade. You'll have to tell me which organs are inside of the dice you roll. Weapon, longsword, legendary, requires attunement by an elf or half elf of neutral good. Ooh, that's probably contentious for a half elf to be wandering around with one of these in some cases, or not. Of all the magic items created by the elves,
I think you.
Can I skip that?
Yeah, you can skip all this because I included it here down to the last paragraph. So a Moonblade. Oh, go ahead.
A Moonblade has 1 rune on its blade for each master it has served, typically 1d6 plus 1. So your
D6.
Moonblade can be like thousands of years old. That's fucking dope.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
The first rune always grants a +1. I guess most legendary swords would be like really old, huh? Or could be.
Yeah, or they definitely have the potential to be. All right,
Or
so I have a
like
D6.
fresh.
So we're gonna find out how many runes are on my moon sword.
Okay,
You ready?
yeah.
So 4 plus 1, I got five runes.
Okay, so the first rune always grants a +1 bonus to attack and damage rolls made with this magic weapon.
Mhm.
Each rune beyond the first grants the Moonblade an additional property. The DM chooses each property or determines it randomly on the Moonblade properties
All
table.
right, so let's find out. I got 4 properties, right?
Yes.
So my first property, I rolled shadows and stuff. A 6.
Okay, so on a 1 through 40, you get to add a rune that says increase the bonus to attack and damage rolls by 1 to a maximum of a +3. So right now you're at a +2.
Okay,
Reroll if
cool.
the Moonblade already has a +3.
All right, so now it's a +2 Moonblade. Now I rolled a 14, which makes it a +3.
Now it's a +3 Moonblade. So
Okay.
now you're going to just be rolling other ones.
Okay. And I rolled a 59.
59, 10 off from the magic sex number. On a 41 through 80, the Moonblade gains a randomly determined minor property.
What?
See special features.
Okay, now we gotta go follow another link.
Open a new tab. I don't want to get rid of this tab.
It's
my
a
gosh.
minor property.
Yeah.
Um.
It took me to not the thing right away. I'd have to like scroll to find what it's talking about.
Oh, here we go. What
Okay.
minor property?
Sounds like
Okay,
you
so
got
I need to roll a d20 for this. Are you ready for this?
Yep.
Okay, d20.
Were you rolling the liver D20 or the heart D20? Or was it a kidney? I forgot.
It was kidney, but I got the heart,
Okay.
and I rolled a 13. So, strange material. The item is created from a material that is bizarre given its purpose. Its durability is unaffected. So, I guess it's made out of a strange material now.
Maybe it's got some extra silver in it somewhere or something like
Yeah.
that. Or
Maybe mine's made out of like a crazy seashell.
ooh, the hide of a dragon turd.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, love it. Okay. I got one more feature. Here we go. 81.
Oh, all right, cool. That is so you rolled the first category, then you rolled the second category, and now you're on the third category. 81 and 82.
Gotcha.
The Moonblade gains the finesse property.
Nice. So if I'm high dex, that is very, very beneficial.
Sure.
Cool. So that's my Moonblade. I got a +3 finesse Moonblade made out of a dragon turtle shell.
Sick.
Hell
okay,
yeah.
it's got some of that shit
All right.
in there.
All right, let's move on to the last sword we're talking about today.
Okay.
Another sentient blade. So the Moonblade was a sentient sword with the alignment of good.
Oh, wait, what
Oh, wait.
makes the Moonblade sentient? Or like those souls are in there and they're fucking talking to you or what?
You know what? It should say. Well, yeah, it won't serve anyone that it determines is craven, erratic, or corrupt.
So it just has some sort of like barrier sentience.
Oh, no, it's down here. Sentience. Moonblade is a sentient neutral good weapon with an intelligence of 12, a wisdom of 10, and a charisma of 12. It has hearing and dark vision out to a range of 120 feet.
I'll take over from here.
You got it.
The weapon communicates by transmitting emotions, sending a tingling sensation through the wielder's hand. When it wants to communicate something it has sensed, it can communicate more explicitly through visions of dreams when the wielder is either in a trance or asleep.
There you go.
Personality, the Moonblade seeks the advancement of elven kind and elven ideals. Courage, loyalty, beauty, music, and life are all part of this purpose. The weapon is bonded to the family line it is meant to serve. Once it has bonded with an owner who shares its ideals, its loyalty is absolute. So it's kind of like a cleansed version of the soul, like some sort of purity left over from whatever life threw its way or whatever the fuck. So it seems like if a Moonblade has a flaw, it is overconfidence. Once it has decided an owner, it believes that only that person should wield it, even if the owner falls short of elven ideals. So just overly loyal.
There we go.
Proficiency with a longsword allows you to add your proficiency bonus to the attack roll for any attack you make with it. And there you go. Now we can move on.
So the Moonblade was a sentient sword of an alignment of good.
Seems that way.
Now it's time to talk about a sentient sword with an alignment of evil.
Even to a fault. Okay, yeah, nice.
The Black Razor.
Evil.
This sword originates from the Greyhawk setting, but has made appearances in the Forgotten Realms as well. This wicked blade seems to radiate evil, and when wielded, it is often difficult to tell if they are controlling the sword or if the sword is controlling them.
Oh.
Black Razor is depicted as a great sword forged from an unknown steel alloy. When unsheathed, its blade resembles a star-studded night sky. When it kills, the wielder hears faint whispers. Its black scabbard is decorated with pieces of obsidian.
Yeah, we got that guy. We fucking killed him,
super
dude.
dead.
We fucking stabbed him so good. Can't wait to do it again.
The creation of Black Razor is a bizarre tale of ancient gods, wizards, and eldritch abominations. So, unlike the Moon Sword, which seemed to have it's a type of sword where there's multiple of them, there is only one Black Razor.
A gibbering mouther vomits one.
No.
It looks like it's in pain while it's doing it.
So the story goes that in a multiverse far removed from the plains of Earth, or I think Aerith, I think is actually supposed to be pronounced, but that's not how it's spelled. Powerful beings.
Constant problem on this show.
Yep. Yeah, when you spell fantasy words that are spelt funny, they're going to get pronounced funny.
We just read them and then we guess.
Like, you don't get to name a city that is literally a word in English pronounced sigil and just say no, but it's called sigil. You can't do that.
The problem is
no.
That now we
say no.
Now we have the internet and like
I don't
it's written
care.
in places and we like just don't look.
I don't care. That's ridiculous.
Pronounced off or earth or.
Oh, earth.
Or earth.
See, that's what I said, earth.
Okay, so we're right.
No. Well, I said earth because that's what I've been saying.
Yeah,
but
it's
then
AYRTH. This is kind of like hard to siphon through. There's 3 options though, so there's not just one way to say it for everybody. That's going to be like you have to say it like this.
So far removed from the planes of earth. Powerful beings kept absolute order, banishing entropy and decay to preserve the planes of their reality from its long overdue death. Yet with all their power, eventually the artificial stasis imposed by these entities failed, and the multiverse began to die. Like worms in rotten wood, creatures from beyond infested the rotting multiverse, speeding its destruction.
Hell yeah, love that.
The wizard, Caraptus, I don't know if that's the right pronunciation, but I'm doing my best, time communed with the rulers of this multiverse, who granted Caraptus the knowledge needed to transform one of these reality parasites into a weapon in exchange for taking it back to his own planes.
You got to slow that down because it sounded like you said Craptus.
Good old Caraptus.
It's one of
Caraptus.
One of Krampus's helpers, Craptus.
So the creature that Caraptus forged into Black Razor was an abomination similar to an atropol, which is a stillborn god. We did talk about them, yeah.
When did we talk about that?
In the Acerak episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is a field day for people.
Oh
right
yeah,
now.
it really is. And by the way, it is supposed to be pronounced Acerak. That is how it's supposed to be officially pronounced.
Yeah.
I know it looks like Acerak. But anyways, moving on. Black Razor drains life energy from those it strikes, temporarily granting the stolen power to its wielder. If the sword strikes a negative energy creature, it works in reverse, draining life energy from its wielder.
Ooh.
It can grant its wielder a suite of other powers, including haste and resistance to mind-affecting magic. It is intelligent and can communicate with those nearby through telepathy. If it goes too long without being fed with life energy, its ego grows stronger until it can take over its wielder's mind and forces them to satiate its hunger.
Bummer.
Mm-hmm. The original Black Razor is said to be based on the sword Stormbringer from the Elric stories by Michael Moorcock. I haven't read these stories. That's his name. Don't do that. I have read these stories.
Did you say Moorcock? Because it's M-O-O.
Well, it's still pronounced Moor.
Dang.
Like a moor
tough.
is like not quite like a wasteland, but it's like a heath.
Okay.
Anyways, I haven't read these stories, but I did want to mention that this sword reminds me of a more recent sentient blade in the fantasy zeitgeist, the sword called Nightblood for Brandon Sanderson's Warbreaker and Stormlight Archive series. It has a lot of the same qualities as the Black Razor.
Yeah, I think most people's pop culture touchstone for Stormbringer is now Thor's new axe.
That's true. Yeah.
It's called Stormbringer, which is not this.
Not at all. All right. Well, want to go over the Black Razor stats?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Let me get over there real quick. Let's see. There we are. Black Razor, weapon, greatsword, legendary, requires attunement by a creature of non-lawful alignment. So you could be chaotic good.
Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. As long as you're not doing lawful shit, which is another like harbinger of older editions, right?
Mm-hmm.
So hidden in the dungeon of White Plume Mountain. Oh wait, do I need to read any of this, or did we?
No, we just want to try and stick to the stats over here.
I'll just read this first part. It's only one sentence. Hidden in the dungeon of White Plume Mountain, Black Razor shines like a piece of night sky filled with stars.
Do you see the picture on the side here? It looks awesome,
It
dude.
does. It looks very cool. It looks very evil, actually. Its black scabbard is decorated with pieces of cut obsidian. Yes, very nice. You gain a +3 bonus to attack and damage rolls made with this magic weapon. It has the following additional properties. Devour Soul. Whenever you use it to reduce a creature to 0 HP, the sword slays the creature and devours its soul.
Oh, no.
Which is obviously a thing in Dungeons & Dragons if you've been listening to this show for any amount of time. Unless it is a construct or an undead, a creature whose soul has been devoured by Black Razor can be restored to life only by
A wish spell.
So another sword.
So
can
the
get
luck
soul out
blade
of
and the
this.
black razor hate each other.
I know if you have those two on you, you could be real cool. If you hit an undead with this weapon, you take 1d10 necrotic damage and the target regains 1d10 HP. If this necrotic damage reduces you to 0 HP, Black Razor devours your soul.
Damn.
Soul Hunter. While you hold the weapon, you are aware of the presence of tiny or larger creatures within 60 feet of you that aren't constructs or undead. You also can't be charmed or frightened.
Holy shit.
That is very powerful.
That's very powerful. And we're not done.
Yeah, Black Razor can cast the haste spell on you once per day. Holy shit. It decides when to cast the spell and maintains concentration
you don't
on it
get
so
a
that
choice. You don't get a
have to.
choice.
It concentrates on it for you.
Yeah.
So people that, like wizards that know what's up are hitting you and are like, hey, what the fuck? Somebody punch that guy's sword.
Yeah. Yeah, but also you don't get to choose when the haste happens. The DM does because it chooses for the sword.
Right, because they're the sword.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. Well, like how... concentration, it is the haste spell. Concentration is involved. That's all written here.
Yes.
So you could break it. But knowing what to do in this situation is like some high level shit.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Somebody has to have the read on what your sword is doing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Know that as a DM, GM. Sentience. Black Razor is a sentient, chaotic neutral weapon with an
Oh,
intelligence.
so it's not evil. My bad.
Well, it's just not lawful. It's chaotic. It's
Yeah,
chaotic.
yeah.
Which, is evil in its own way sometimes. So Black Razor is a sentient, chaotic neutral weapon with an intelligence of 17, a wisdom of 10, and a charisma of 19.
Damn.
Holy smokes.
It's a warlock.
It has hearing and dark vision out to a range of 120 feet, so it knows when you leave it to go take a pee at the camp. The weapon can speak, read, and understand common and can communicate with its wielder telepathically. Its voice is deep and echoing, like James Earl Jones. While you are attuned to it, Black Razor also understands every language you know. Personality. Black Razor speaks with an imperious tone, as though accustomed to being obeyed, like James Earl Jones. The sword's purpose is to consume souls. It doesn't care whose soul it eats, including the wielder's, right, with the stats and all that. The sword believes that all matter and energy sprang from a void of negative energy and will one day return to it. Black Razor is meant to hurry that process along. It's a black hole. So despite its nihilism, Black Razor feels a strange kinship to Wave and Whelm, two other weapons locked away under White Plume Mountain. It wants the three weapons to be united again and wielded together in combat. Damn, a fucking Marilith. Even though it violently disagrees with Whelm and finds Wave tedious. Black Razor's hunger for souls must be regularly fed. If the sword gets 3 days or more without consuming a soul, a conflict between it and its wielder occurs at the next sunset. Proficiency with a greatsword allows you to add your proficiency bonus to the attack roll for any attack you make with it. Holy shit, the roleplay on this is going to be insane.
Yeah.
This is a storyline.
Yes, very much so.
This is a whole character arc.
So Whelm is a legendary hammer and Wave is a legendary trident, by the way.
Hell yeah, that's fucking cool. So a sword, a hammer, and a trident. That's a wicked combo.
It is. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Is that all?
So we should do an episode on White Plume Mountain one day.
It's an old adventure module. I think it goes all the way back to 2nd or 1st edition.
Sounds like it's got some sick ass lore. What are these fucking weapons doing in there?
Yeah. Well, we could. A lot of those old modules have like really cool stuff like this in it.
Yeah, I'm sure. Like maybe two of those weapons are still in White Plume Mountain, and one of these weapons, maybe they're in different chambers, and somebody plucked one out and took it out into the world, and now like, Elder Wand style, you have it.
We'll probably do a legendary weapons episode that not swords, and I'm sure Wave and Whelm will probably get talked about.
Nice. We'll have a 5 trident episode.
Yeah, I don't know if there's 5 tridents.
It's a swords episode and then a miscellaneous, like here's some other
Here
stuff.
are the
episodes.
other ones. Yeah, exactly. All right. Any thoughts? Any questions? Any comments? Concerns about the 6 legendary swords we covered today?
They're all really cool.
Yeah, they're all pretty neat. You got a favorite?
I like this the Black Razor had the most lore.
It had the most cool shit going on, that's for sure.
The Moonblade seems cool. I would make some tweaks to it. The Defender is like an add your own adventure style sort of legendary sword, like build your own legend sword.
Yeah.
Sword.
Build your own become the legend.
The luck one is cool, but it's just like
the passivity of it was interesting. I didn't notice that.
By the time you have it, like it's just not. I don't know. You're already casting Wish. It's less interest. It's like a win more kind of item.
Right.
I mean, all of these are in a way, but the Black Razor has like things wrong with it. The Moonblade has things wrong with it. Like I like that when there's sentience, there is flaw, and that makes sense to me.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
There's opportunity for, error or leaning too much the wrong way into an ideal. Like those make storytelling interesting and make the legends attached to these swords feel in-world reality. Like they feel like more than just something I found.
Right, exactly.
Which I like. The Defender sword, like that's gonna be the closest thing to this thing I found that we have.
Right, of the 6 we talked about today. Man, the poor
right.
Defender is just getting dragged through the mud today.
Yeah, I would make it sentient. I would put a soul in there. I would.
Yeah. I
like,
think it's not a bad idea.
You better be doing what the sword is intended to do.
Yeah,
like
you defend.
Exactly, and that's kind of what all these swords, the sentience within them means. I gave in FBATs way down the line. I give one of the characters a Sun Soul Blade. All right, I think
Sunblade.
a Sunblade, but he was a Sun Soul monk, so we called it a Sun Soul Blade. So now my mind is stuck there. But I put the fucking soul of like an old monk in there.
That's probably why you started calling it the Sun Soul.
Yeah,
Blade,
to make sure that he is doing the thing he's supposed to be doing with like bringing he's like a superhero, so he's supposed to do justice shit. So that was something I homebrewed into a sword, which wasn't quite legendary, but a very cool weapon. Illuminates the darkness and does all this other shit. And they're like crime fighters at night and stuff like that. And it was fun. I would definitely, the Defender is like a cool thing I could do a lot with for sure.
So I do want to do an episode this year of weapons that are not quote unquote legendary status, but are like legendarily iconic. Include the Sunblade. The Frost Brand, the Flame Tongue, all that other stuff.
All some excellent stuff. Yeah, like the Belt of Giant, or those items.
Yeah, exactly. All the big ones.
Yeah, we'll pull out those cards I was talking about earlier, and like kind of like those are some classics, right?
Yeah,
that's why they were included, and they're in that power frame you're talking about.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which like a lot of them are underwhelming in a lot of ways. Like they're almost too basic to cover. But the ones you've mentioned are all
exactly. It's like some of the more basic ones will probably get left out because there's not much to talk about.
There's like 200 cards with 200 items, and I'm like, oh well, like half of these seem unusable, like in a lot of ways, or like meaningless,
right?
Which they are.
Well, with that being said, I think it's time we got ready for a long rest.
Let's do it. Hey everybody, welcome to the long rest. This is the part of the episode where we're just gonna I need to catch up and give you guys some news and stuff. So if you want to support the show, you've already done so by listening, hitting like, subscribe on YouTube. All that stuff really helps visibility for the show. Big announcement. We have our first YouTube video ever to cross 1 million views. We did it, man.
Oh,
D&D,
did it?
It happened last night.
Whoa, wait,
Yep.
whoa!
I was at the crypto.com arena, as it's now called, watching the LA Kings lose in a shootout to the Vancouver Canucks, which should not have happened. But it was a good game anyway, and we got a point out of it, and we're going to win the Western Conference Division, so fucking whatever. So while I was there, I saw a comment come in, like, I hope I'm the 1 millionth viewer on this, and I went and checked, and it was at 999K, but then I went to the actual video. I was like, we fucking did it.
Dude,
so thanks, everybody. We have a YouTube video that crossed 1 million subscribers. You may have seen we get emails sometimes about that video, like, hey, can we play this before this important thing where we're going to talk about a bunch of Dungeons and Dragons stuff? So it's a real big flattering thing. Will wrote it, and I voice recorded it, and we co-produced it. So cool. Thanks a lot for anybody.
Yeah, I'm glad to see that so many people have found use out of it.
Yes, it is one of the best videos out there to just hit somebody who's never heard of D&D before with some knowledge. It's literally 5 minutes, just here you figure out who Gary Gygax is and stuff real quick, right? So, and what dice we use. So yeah, thanks a lot. That was just some we're pumping our own tires here, but
it's cool.
It's definitely cool for us, so we want to say thanks.
I'm glad I got to find out on the show.
Yeah, it's fun for everybody that participated in making that happen. It took a few years, but it's still a milli, dude.
Yeah, that's awesome.
A big milestone for
happy.
us. We're also approaching 50K YouTube subscribers, so if you guys want to go help that out, that's a really cool thing that we're going to sell.
It would be really cool to cross that number, actually.
Yeah, we crossed 30. That was big. We crossed 40. Not as big, but still really cool. And we're rocketing towards 50K subs on there. So So thanks a lot. That means a lot. And we are going to be doing more YouTube stuff in the future, especially now that we're monetized. We have a really cool project that we're doing on patreon.com/thedungeoncast called Super Short Saga. It's taking the place of Super Quest Omega while we let all that OGL business cool off. We are going to return to Super Quest Omega in some capacity in the future. I just don't want to do it right now. So we're doing Super Short Saga. We're taking one-page RPGs, dungeon crawl classics,
just multiple systems.
Yeah, we're
Anything
going to
you
be
can think
testing
of.
out Numenera and stuff that a lot of you guys suggested in the wake of the OGL debacle, and that's all. I know a lot of that has cooled off. Nothing actually happened, but we got to be vigilant as a community and make sure something like that doesn't happen again, because they're going to keep pushing for that crazy VTT stuff. Like all that stuff still floating out there, and I'm very wary of it. But I do want to go back and play 5e again. It's still our game. We're as a community are in control of that, and I think after things calm down a little bit, even more so, I'll become more comfortable returning to Super Quest Omega. So that tier in the Patreon is going to be maintained, and Super Short Saga is going to be playing there. So we played a by Grant Hewitt, the Goblin Punks one-page RPG.
Grant Howitt.
Sorry, Grant Howitt. And we recorded Goblin Punks. It was a lot of fun. I listened to it.
That shit was hilarious.
It was fucking funny.
The shit was really funny.
It was so good. We're all little shitheads. So
that's how the game's designed.
Yeah, exactly. It's called Goblin Punks. You're like teenage goblins that want to go breaking the law or whatever.
Yeah.
So we got up to no good. Mariko did a great job running that. Thank you so much, Mariko. And we've got like a kind of a rotating cast on that show. It's really cool. But the point is, you can go to patreon.com/thedungeoncast to listen to those early before they drop on YouTube. We're going to be co-releasing a how to play the system video. It's going to be as short as possible and as dense as possible in quick amount of time.
Yeah, we're going to try and be succinct, Yeah,
basically the idea is to, once we're done producing them, release the how-to, like this is how we play the game, and then release the adventure publicly the next day. So you can go watch that couple minutes of video, might not be longer than 10 minutes. And then, or the goal is to make them all 10 minutes or less. Some of them will be like a couple minutes, and then you'll know how to play the system, and you can jump in and watch us learn how to play the system again as we go, in some capacity. We mostly know what we're doing by the time we play. But we did part 1 of Sexy Battle Wizards, which is the next one we're doing. And we had some technical issues, which are now resolved, and we're going to record a part 2 of it. So we have that waiting in the wings, and that one was we forgot some mechanics that were part of the game, like what happens when you die. And we figured it out, like, oh yeah, wait, we should be doing this, and we did a little bit of housekeeping in that episode. So it'll be a little funny to see a how-to and then watch us sort of like fucking forget one of the mechanics for half an episode. But we'll be better about that in the future. It's a learning curve for us there too. So I think it's a really fun way to experience more RPGs, more stuff like D&D's not the end, like there's a lot of really cool, fun stuff out there that's not super unapproachable and easy to play. We want to help people, expand their horizons, and we encourage you to do so. So if you guys want to check out that project early, please feel free to jump on to patreon.com/thedungeoncast, and you can see it in this Super Quest Omega tier, or the tier Omega, I think is we're calling it. That's where all that stuff will be. Are we doing Unhallowed is still in production? We're making moves on that. I owe you some stuff that we'll get. And then that should be the Super Quest Saga tier, which is now running FBATs, will eventually have Unhallowed on it, I think is what we're going to do. And some of the Super Short Saga stuff might show up on there, and then maybe like in between certain things. And then eventually Omega will be recorded in air.
Omega isn't dead.
I've done
just sleeping.
I've just done far too much work on it to give it up.
Of course, man. Of course, 100%.
Yeah. So we'll figure out it'll probably be, I don't know. We have to approach and see what system we're gonna work with. But I really want it to be in D&D, so we're gonna try to make that work.
Yeah.
Do we have?
Maybe it'll be in the whatever the new version of D&D ends up being.
If
it ends up being good.
If it's any good, and we're worried about giving Hasbro money because they tried to fuck us, but like we said, we are the stewards of the game.
Very much so.
We're gonna try to maintain that. Okay, do you have any notes here?
No, I'm excited to record the next episode, so I'm excited to end this one.
I was about to talk about that. Our next episode next week is going to be the patron voted topic. So thank you to everybody on Patreon who participated in the poll. There's going to be more polls in the future, obviously, for multiple different things. Be sure to check that out if you're on Patreon. So if that's another benefit, if you want to go and have a say in what we record next, that's definitely cool. What is the topic for next?
So the patrons voted on, well, number one, not only do they vote on the topics, but they suggest the topics beforehand.
Yes,
and
there is a nomination process.
Yeah, so this is directly from the patrons and chosen by the patrons. And they want to hear about our design philosophy when it comes to designing a campaign.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then the episode after that is another guest episode, so stay tuned.
Yep.
Yeah, so we're gonna get these. I'm back, baby, and we're recording, so I'm gonna be able to get you guys earlies. At least not on this one, because it's due tomorrow. But I'm gonna be working all night to get you guys that next episode. It should be up there, and we owe you guys a slew of patron shoutouts. So at the end of the Patreon, we're gonna save those for Patreon episodes from now on. The Patreon voted topics. And so next episode we'll be doing shout outs. So if you've been waiting to hear your shout out, next week it's on its way. Which is to say for us in like 10 minutes when we record the next one.
Indeed.
Any other, we have a Discord, we've got social media. You guys can go find us there. You can email us at the Dungeoncast@gmail.com. We have a P.O. box and that address is down in the notes. If you guys want to send us anything, a heads up is cool, but you don't have to. There's some stuff in the P.O. box right now that I need to get. I went to the P.O. box and there was a slip in there. It's like, oh, go get your stuff. And they had a box system I could use, but it must be bigger than the box. Sometimes they leave a key because our P.O. box isn't the biggest one. And I can go to another box and open it up and get the package out of there. But the slip in there was like, you have to bring it to the counter. And I didn't go early enough on a Saturday. The P.O. box office is fucking wild.
All these rules.
I'm super locked out of there because of my work hours. So it's hard to get over there. But I'll make sure next time I go right when I wake up next time so I don't miss it.
Yeah.
It's fucking crowded there on Saturday too. Post office is a wild place. Yeah, and that stuff is all available in the show notes below. And I think that's everything.
All right. Well, with that, I think we can call it a game.
All right. Let's catch you guys on the next one.
We'll
Bye.
talk to you guys later.
The Dungeoncast.